Hello, everyone. Welcome to this podcast, The Life in Progress Personal and Professional Stories. You all know that the purpose of this podcast is to bring in front of you the different stories of different seasoned professionals, their personal and professional story, so that you can understand that life is not so easy and what are the different ways by which you can address the life. Our purpose is to give you the entire perspective behind the success, be it the physical, mental, spiritual, or the holistic, complete overview. And I feel so fortunate today to reach to a person who will just redefine the meaning of actual success for you, the holistic success for you. He will redefine the meaning of fitness for all of you. I'm talking about today a person who is an author, who is a corporate trainer, who is a speaker. He comes from a different space wherein he has spent a lot of time in finances, the sales, and everywhere. But today, his book Fitness 365, it has been cited among the Amazon best-selling book. And really, I feel fortunate to call upon today's guest, Mr. Birendra Singh Negi. And I can tell you that when you will walk out from this podcast today, when you will end this episode, so you will be able to align your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, and you will walk away from this podcast with a lot of strategies, lot of insights, so that you will show up to the world in a different way in terms of all around and the holistic fitness. So let's welcome our today's guest, Mr. Birendra Singh Negi. So hello everyone. Now we have with us Negi sir. As I told you before sir was coming, that we would be discussing a lot about the holistic fitness and redefining the fitness in various terms. So sir, first of all, as you are the author of one of the Amazon best-selling section, that is the Fitness 365, and you have seen the fitness from a different perspective. So I believe everyone who is watching this episode, they all want to know that what is the exact meaning of holistic fitness, how we can see the fitness from your perspective and from your journey, definitely, because you have seen, you have lived those moments. So how
Yeah.
we can understand this particular term from yourself, from your journey, from your experiences.
All right. So thank you so much, Megha, for your time and for inviting me on this particular show.
That's a pleasure.
So the Fit 365, the book which I've written is basically it talks about the holistic approach, as we were discussing earlier. Also is, and this fitness is not just about being physically fit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not restricted to this aspect only. But what I see is, and what I've experienced over the period of time is that in order to be fit in
Hmm.
life, right, one has to really be fit in every aspect of the life. Like, I mean, if you see, I mean, I created this in the five categories of the fitnesses. Like, wherein
Okay.
the first, of course, it comes as a physical fitness, which generally we talk about.
Hmm.
Mainly, I mean, if you see, I mean, any professionals or anybody, if you talk about, and if you will talk about the weight or the muscles or strength or being, especially from the disease perspective or not. I mean, that's one aspect of it, right?
So
In
in
the
fact,
physical aspect.
everybody nowadays is talking about physical fitness because see,
Exactly.
there are gyms at every corner of the street.
Exactly. So now, and this is not restricted to the physical fitness. Is very important. I mean, it's one of the most important aspect of it. At the same time, we need to understand that how this physical fitness is going to be there. So you need to have your mental agility, mental fitness, right? Also there. So the mental fitness comes first beforehand. I mean, after because if somebody is fit mentally,
Hmm.
agility wise, I mean, obviously the kind of action which is going to do, the kind of work which is going to be is much better, and the kind of a result which one can expect out of that. So that's something was there. Thirdly is is your the spiritual aspect of it, right? Which is spiritual fitness. Wherein here, I mean, we're not talking about following a kind of a religion or a cult or a faith, but actually speaking, spirituality here means that what is my goal in life,
Hmm.
right? So if you see a mango tree, right, what the mango tree is going to be, what role of a mango tree is. The
Hmm.
mango tree's role is to bear fruits every year, irrespective of whether a mango tree is not going to complain that ki bhai is bar barish nahi hui hai, ya fir it has not got those kind of nutrients, so he is not going to give the fruits at this particular. the mango tree's job is to give the mangoes, sweet mangoes every year on year. That's for the contribution. And similarly, if you see, I mean, if you talk about any of the animal kingdom, if you see, take an example of a lion, and the lion is going to be a lion, irrespective of whichever moment you talk about, it's going to be his character. But wherein if you come to as a human being, like, I mean, you know that, I mean, because I'm so mentally, very, very high IQ in terms of all the animal species. So, a thought process, but am I being as a human all the time? That is something which is very important. So what is my job? What is in life? What is my goal in life? What is my purpose in life? I think that is something which is very important. So initially, even while being in the corporate world, Megha, I was also not able to understand it, right? But post leaving the corporate world and really dwelling something of the of life and experience that, and reading and attending many programs and books, I came to know that this is something which is most important thing aspect also, wherein what is that which I want. And that's the reason why, if you see, now my job is to contribute in the humanity to the people who are actually where I was stuck up in my corporate life for the last 25 years. So that's something which my goal is. So, and maybe specifically talking about, if you ask me, then Megha, my mission or my goal is to actually transform 10 million corporate professionals worldwide in the area of fitness, in the area of holistic fitness, right? Which talks about all these 5 elements of the fitness which you're talking about. Now that's something which is there. Now, and the fourth one is your social fitness, which is very important, which talks about the love, your love relationship, your relationship with your parents, with your friends, with your organizations, with your communities. What is that? I mean, what is that which I'm doing? Or am I fit in that particular aspect of it or not? And then the finally, which comes is your financial fitness, which everybody in this world, every country in the world, every country is in the world, or every company is in or any institutions, there we talk about mostly, I mean, if you see, we talk about the business, outcome. We talk about the money. Like, even when I was working, then every month, what's the kind of a money which I'm going to generate? Like, so that's something which is there. So financial fitness is also very, very important. How I'm going to generate the money is the most important thing, right? So paisa kamana is very, very important, very, very important. And because obviously, if that is there, that is the kind of energy which is there, that is the kind of a power which is there, then I can do, or anybody can do whatever he or she want to do in life in terms of contribution also. But paisa nahi hoga to kahan se contribute karega? Paisa nahi hoga to kahan se, whatever your hobbies are there or interests are there, or tumhara ghar kaise chalega? So that's something which is awesome. So all these 5 elements of fitness are very, very important. It's not just that only financial fitness is important, like, which I was trapped. I mean, if you see my example, while working for 25 years in the corporate world, I was just going for money. It doesn't mean that I was not doing I was doing other things as well. But primarily, if my focus was to make money every year, what kind of a growth I'm making my money, right? And that's one aspect of it. Now, financial fitness also means that first is where and how I'm going to generate the money. Am I being happy while creating that kind of a money? And what am I contributing with that money, kind of money which I'm generating? What is my contribution to my communities, or to my family, or to my things, also to my training and development? Everything, it comes into all the every other aspect of it also. So that's entirely about the financial fitness. So what I have seen, and particularly the last 6 years now, is that every element of this fitness is critical. It's not just the financial fitness is only important thing, which I was mostly working on, to not really getting time for my fitness exercise routine, or give time to my family members or to my parents, or to do something which I love the most, my interest and hobbies, or maybe something which I really want to contribute to this world. So that is something which comes to the conclusion, is that each one of these 5 elements are equally important. Agar 100% ki agar baat kare, then it's going to be 20% of the financial fitness, 20% of his physical fitness, 20% is going to be your spiritual fitness, 20% is of social fitness, right? So every aspect has to be equal. Now it's not easy to to figure it out. Obviously, because if you're there into, and it could vary at times, it could vary, let's say, suppose somebody has started a new job or started a new organization, right? Obviously at that point of time, his time and energy for that particular goal is going to be higher than that.
Yes.
But mota if you see that the balance out of these 5 fitness elements is going to be very, very important. Because if you give weightage to one on a higher side, the other things are going to be imbalanced. And what is, if imbalance is going to come, then it's going to affect overall to you.
Yes.
So that's a whole context of creating this book, Fit 365. Although many of the people who read, they also come back to me and say, we thought that this is something which is there on the physical aspect of it. But then later on, we come to know that while going through the book, we come to that this is not just about that, but this is much beyond than that. So that's what I actually, mean by the fitness, so that's what is there.
Yeah. So no doubt, whatever 5 elements you were just iterating now, and I was just thinking something in my mind when you was telling about those 5 elements of the fitness, and I was correlating of those 5 elements of fitness with our existential 5 elements.
Yeah, exactly.
If I talk about the earth, water, air, and all those 5 elements with
Absolutely.
which we are made up of at the atomic level, at the subatomic level. So those 5 elements you are talking in terms of the complete fitness. But here one question is coming to my mind. And why it is coming? Because you also said that you have gone through that phase, and definitely I have also gone through this phase. So whenever it comes to the fitness aspect, I'm talking about the young professionals or the aspiring professionals. They believe that 90% goes to the financial fitness, and that in the 10% segment they can maintain all physical, spiritual, so I believe will come at a 0.001% level. And then they feel that in 1% we'll just try to accommodate that social and other aspects. So how these young, and by the time they reach to the understanding, probably if they are late, probably they are compromised with so many diseases, probably they are compromised with so many relationships issues. So by the time they understand that each and every aspect should be properly harmonized and properly balanced, maybe there are few who are late in that aspect and they are facing a lot of challenges. So how those people can understand that how to balance these all the elements?
Yeah, so it's very important aspect of which you've asked this, Megha, and as
So
you
because
rightly said
this
that.
is a pain point with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So and with respect to the 5 elements, if we talk about, then our 5 senses which is there as a human body, those also falls in the same category. Now you can't say that I have eyes, so my eyes are perfect, but my ears have some problems, right? Or my taste doesn't have. So with your the way we can see your eyes, your ears, your taste, your touch, and your senses, your touch, and one more aspect is also there. So these 5 senses. So every aspect of it is very, very important, right? Now, so similarly, we're coming back to the point which you're asking is that which I was also having those kind of concern in the beginning of my career, and in majority of the part of my career also, is that the sooner you realize, the better it is, right? And for that, like if you see from the mental perspective, from the mental fitness perspective, like one need to ask, generally, is that what do you read? What do you read? Or how much do you read? How much you read on a daily basis, or what content you watch, or when you watch. So I think these are very, very important from the mental perspective. What kind of a company you stay, actually, what kind of a people you converse, and that's very, very important, because you tend to become the kind of a company you have. All right. So coming to the young professionals who are actually worried about and really focus on their careers, and that's something which is great. But at the same time, I'll give you my example, like and coming to your point also, is that when I was working in a corporate world, and I realized that almost 80% of the people working in the corporate world, wherever I've worked, one or the other person, they were suffering from one kind of a disease or another kind of a disease, or lifestyle disease maybe, and they just have a diabetes, or a sugar levels up, or maybe some thyroid issues, or maybe something else could be also. and people are pretty okay with that. I mean, popping the pills in the morning or in the evening, and they're okay with that. I mean, and they feel great about it, right?
That's
And
the
that is
status
something.
symbol nowadays.
Yes, yeah. So and then while sharing with the other people that this is something which I'm facing, is I don't see any kind of concern with that, or kind of a thing which they want to really resolve that. So I mean, it's being general, it's being okay with that. So when I realized this, although I was not having any issues as such, Megha, this was in 2016 in November, while I was planning for my South, India travel plan. And I was about 79, 80 kg at that point of time. I was sitting on a chair and really discussing my travel plan with my South counterpart, my zonal manager, and then I realized that one of the shoelace is open. I tend to tie that shoelace, and I that at that point of time I realized that I'm not comfortable in bending down fully, right? And really, I has a concern. I have trouble in showing in tying my lace. And that point of time, I decided that this is something which I don't want, because I mean, today is this is this level. Tomorrow it's going to be on extreme level if I don't take the any action in that area, right? So and that's what exactly in the with respect to the any of the task which we take, and with respect to a professional area also, with any kind of a project. If you don't take the desired action now, it's going to be pain area for you tomorrow. So my advice to the people, to the young people especially, is you are at your peak of your health when you begin your career, right? How the life is going to be if you actually crack that code of living your life the way you want, fully, that not only you are making the money amazingly the way you want, building your career the way you want, but at the same time you are able to get a breakthrough in the area of your physical fitness, in the area of your spiritual fitness, in the area of your social fitness also, and of course the mental fitness as well. So I mean, if you start really working, and it's not about very, very difficult also, if you see, it's just about a matter of habits. Like, for example, I just give you a simple example, is that I'm practicing this yoga and my other ritual for the last 6 years, daily, every day. I started with about maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier. I was very, very irregular also, because I got to travel 15 to 16 days in a month. I was traveling outside. So it was, at times it was not possible for me also. But then one thing which I stuck on is being consistent in doing what I was doing. So anybody who says that he don't have a time or she don't have a time, and she's very busy, the work is so demanding, and they don't get the time for reading, or they don't get time for the exercise, my request to those people is begin with 1 minute. Begin with 1 minute of exercise. Begin with 1 minute of jogging, or 1 minute of breathing exercise, or 1 minute of reading, actually. So even though if you start beginning with the 5 minutes in a day for doing every bit of it, starting with, and then gradually building out on. So that is something which you're going to give the signal to your mind, or to your body, is that this is something which you are doing, and this is something which you're doing for the betterment of yourself on a daily basis. And that small habit which can become a bigger one. And that is something which you're going to get a breakthrough, which one expect. Like a simple example, Megha, is suppose you take a pen, a small pen in your hand, and keep holding this pen in your hand for, let's say, 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You'll find after a point of time, you'll find it difficult to hold this pen also. Right. So, and that's what the practice. But if you're practicing it on daily basis, I mean, you'll find that one point of time you'll be able to hold this pen for maybe 1 hour also easily. But then that's a practice. So that's a consistency which is there. So one can begin with that. Another thing is, you need to be very, very clear that first is, you got to be passionate about doing what you want to do. Right. So if you set your goal that this is something, a breakthrough which you want in the area of your physical fitness, or your mental fitness, or your financial fitness to begin with, then you got to be clear that you want to really do it, and you got to have a clear game plan for that, right? 100%. Secondly is choose your company. As I discussed with you earlier, choose your company, that what kind of a people you are having the conversations, what kind of friend circle do you have, if everybody will remember that bachpan mein maa baap kya bolte hain, even now also, your parents always tell you that be in the company of good people, or people who are successful, right? चोर चक्कों के साथ या एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स का नहीं क्यों बोलते हैं? Because they know that the kind of a company you tend to be, you tend to become like that.
Yes.
Right? And it's a saying also that if you meet 5 rich people, if you are there in a company of 5 rich people, the chances of you getting rich is pretty high. If you meet, if your company is 5 people who are, let's say, talks about the fitness, physical fitness, the chances of you being fit is pretty high, right? The chances of, if you go and meet people who are spiritually connected, the chance of you being spiritually connected is pretty good. So the kind of a company which you live is going to decide your destiny, decide your future. And so it's important that what kind of a book are you reading? What kind of friends do you have? What kind of colleagues you have? What kind of training you impart? So, or as a matter of fact, clearly, if you talk about, then what kind of an environment are you creating around you? That's something which is most important. So you got to be very, very clear about, and learn to say no many times, which you don't want to be in the company of that particular person because of XYZ reason, right? So, but you still are being there in that friend circle, in that circle. You tend to really say no and get away from that, because if you don't, then you are going to get twinkled into that circle more, because the chances of that company is going to be again a bigger one, right? So it's very, very important. So that is your environment, your passion about what you really want to do. And third is, I would say, is one need to have a structure around around yourself, right? Let's say if I say that I want to begin my running from tomorrow, so I need to ensure that before I go to bed, I need to have a good night's sleep before I wake up in the morning, right? So I need to ensure that the kind of a time which I sleep, I need to set my alarm right. I need to ensure that I go to bed on time. I need to ensure that my running shoes are ready, so that I don't really, give that reason in the morning when I wake up, is that where is my shoes, or where is my shorts, or my t-shirt is there, So everything got to be really structured and scheduled for you. And that's something which you got to do it. Apart from that, you got to have your committed colleague, or the person who's going to be, or maybe the partner, who's people who want to have a similar kind of interest.
Maybe
similar
we
kind
can call it accountability
partners or committed partners, or maybe a buddy system, which is there. You need to have at least one person which you'll be able to find out. If that is there, then you can actually do wonders, right? And because one person can hold you account for that. So I think these small things can be taken care of, and begin with, let's say, a small point of time. One can actually, and it's not just about a physical aspect of it, of getting into your shape, but also in any aspect of your life which you want to do, right? Any new thing which you want to learn, there also, you've got to have this kind. So these habits are very, very important and critical. So I think these 4-5 things which anybody, try to, keep in this existence, and really follow the structure and have this buddy system in the thing, I can actually makes you pretty good. Last, and which is the most important, Megha, is, which I have also experienced in life, is you need to have a mentor or a coach, right? It could be your father, it could be your friend, it could be your mother, it could be your boss also. It could be somebody else as well, right? So for example, I have now, for the last 6 years, I have my 5 coaches, who actually train me on a different aspect of it, and I really learn many things ongoingly from them. So a coach or a mentor is very, very important, because he or she will tend to guide you the moment where you are actually stuck up. Secondly, what you don't want to do, they'll make you sure that the things which you don't want to do, you'll be able to do those things, because they know that doing those things which you don't want to do are going to make you successful in that area. So I think that the presence of a coach or a mentor is very, very important. And in our dharma also, Megha, if you see, Mata, Pita, Guru, Devata, even before God, the Guru comes, a coach comes, or a mentor comes. I think one need to have, and irrespective of any age, it's not that, let's say somebody in a top-notch position in an organization, then he or she doesn't need the coach. All the top most sports person in the world, right?
They need a coach.
they have a coach. They have a coach. I mean, you can't say that. I mean, if you talk about Sachin Tendulkar or maybe Michael Phelps, everybody, or even actors, topmost actors in Bollywood or Hollywood, everybody there, they have a mentor. They're a guru. They're a coach who's going to, so it's not that they don't know anything. They are the best. They are the best. But to be there in the best and to actually excel in that area, they need somebody who actually can actually be their ears and eyes, who are looking actually from the different perspective, who knows that what that person wants in life and how he can or she can make it happen. So I think that's something which makes a huge important aspect in anybody's life. Right,
so
yeah.
you have given various points, and I was just noting all the points in my mind. And what important points I could get from this beautiful insight. The first and foremost important point you highlighted about that the environment is more powerful than your willpower. If I
Absolutely.
want to quit something or if I want to acquire something good, rather than my willpower, I'll not say that willpower won't play any role, but your environment is always more powerful than your willpower. That is the first point which you have highlighted. The second point which you have highlighted, which I am correlating a lot, that the more you are meeting with the people with whom you resonate, maybe if you want to upgrade your fitness goals, so the more you want to upgrade your financial goals, so the more you are meeting with the people who have already seen that success, who are already in that domain, so it's very easy for you to copy, because in our brain we are already having mirror neurons, so it's very easy for us to copy. And I believe I am meeting with a person today who has mastered all the areas, so probably I will keep on mirroring all those things very faster rate. So that's a benefit I am having today.
So now I'm not
Good.
mastered actually. So I'm in a process. I'm in the journey. I'm in a process of getting into that league. But then yes, I have moved on. Where I was 6 years back or 10 years back. I move on. Many steps ahead, and I'm continuously trying to explore into the other domain where I can actually fulfill that aspiration of mine, which makes me happy. Really. I mean, so that's something which is there. Yeah.
Because I'm interacting with you directly, so I'll get some more percentage of the benefit, and the people who are watching, they will also get some benefit. So that's the purpose of the podcast, and I believe that would be getting addressed in a very beautiful manner. And the third and very most important points of which you have addressed just now, that is about having a mentor and a coach. And how I see the mentors and a coach means, I always see a very beautiful analogy when I see the mentors and the coach. They are just like the magnifying glasses, and they know that what the tiniest good thing, what the tiniest skill you are having, which is deep inside you, but they are able to see with their magnifying glass, and they have the capability to just take it out from you,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
they just keep on taking and taking, so that one day everything, whatever are your good qualities, are just polished and are just shining so beautifully and so brightly. So
Yeah.
these three important points which you have narrated are no doubt that's of utmost value for everyone. But
Right.
again,
Also, I want to
yes,
add, Megha, and it's not easy to accept somebody as a coach or a mentor.
true,
And
sir.
typically when somebody is very successful, at that point it becomes very difficult. मतलब वो होता है कि यार मैं तो हूँ, I'm ये तू मेरे को क्या समझाएगा, मैंने क्या सिखाएगा. I think that is something where when that point comes and that ego comes, if you are into that, stuck up to that, then your chances of growth are limited. Then you'll not be able to go. I've seen in my life, I've seen many of the people whom I know in their life also, and I've seen the players, sports person also, where they've been into that particularly. But whosoever has actually surrendered to their coach, fully out there, I mean, they've been there, I mean, really excelling. And what you said, Megha, is the coach or the mentor is someone who actually can see your blind spots. I mean, something which I can't see for myself, but he or she, he's my well-wisher. He's somebody who want me to excel. He'll be, really be able to see those things and give that concrete feedback, on which I can work or the person can work upon and then excel in that. So I think that's what the role of a job is. Not about just criticizing, but actually figuring out that this is something which is good and it can be made the best. That's how it is. Or I mean, whichever the other areas where you're the worst, and then how we can actually be put in the good category and then the better category and then the best category. So everything is very, very critical. So accepting that someone as a coach is very, very important first. That so getting that barrier broken in your mind is also very important. So, and it was there in my mind. मेरा दिमाग में था ऐसा है कि मतलब yeah. And but then when I actually got into and when I really started having my mentors and gurus, I saw that look, there are a lot many things to learn and to explore and to create, which I was not able to do so unless people were there in my life. So I think that's something which is very, very important. Yeah.
Undoubtedly, sir. And one more thing which you have quoted from our ancient history, I don't call it a mythology because somewhere I don't resonate with the term mythology,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
our history. And in
yeah,
our history, if we go back, which you are also quoting, that Arjuna was a great warrior. But even though he realized that he is having some drawback and he completely surrendered himself in
yeah,
front of the Lord Krishna, and then only he could get the wisdom which he actually wanted, and he was eligible for that wisdom as well. So
yeah,
that's a very important point which you are telling about surrender. But again, one question, sir, like you are telling that it's very difficult for someone to break that barrier, that
yeah,
how to accept someone as my mentor, and forget about it, how to accept that I need to learn something, how to
yeah.
accept that मुझे क्या जरूरत है कुछ सीखने की.
Correct.
That important thing is very crucial. And I want to know again from your example, that was there any, because you also come from a corporate world, you was also to that lifestyle, that competitive hustle and everything. So was there any moment of inspiration, or I should give the entire credit to that shoelace, or are there other moments of inspiration? Any incident happened with you that pushed you towards that important phase of your life so that you started understanding? Or was it since your childhood? Means how did you understand that the importance of all those five elements is important in your life? Because you also come from that corporate space.
Yeah. So I would say this is so shoelace is very critical because that's distinctly remember because that's something from their moment I actually started taking care of for my physical fitness, right? It actually started with the physical fitness, right? And then I started practicing yoga and some other rituals, and slowly when I started and I always wanted to do something of my own, like I'm passionate about trekking, I'm passionate about being with the nature,
Mhm.
and I'm really passionate about and having led about team of more than 5,000 people at one point of time. All the time I was in a leadership role. So I also saw that this something coaching people is actually something which inspires me, making a difference out there in people's life. It really inspires me. So I was coaching one of the person, post leaving the corporate world. I was coaching one of the person. So it was just I was just doing a free coaching kind of a thing. Like initially, I was not charging anything. I was just as my passion hobby. I was just doing that. So many people were there. I was coaching them. I was mentoring them. Some people were actually serious about it. Some people are not. Many times I need to run after them for their transformation, and that was also a challenge. But then I remember distinctly one person who was a zonal manager of a large firm, insurance organizations, and he shared with me, and he was not in communication with me for about 2 to 3 years so, and he gave me a call. It was in, I guess, in August 20, third week of August 20. He gave me a call. He said, sir, I want to speak to you. I said, okay, fine, go ahead. And then he shared with me that he's actually lost his job. He was fired from his job, and he's is divorced.
Oh.
Is something was not working well with his wife, and he got divorced. His parents, the house where he was living, they also throw him out. And that, you've not been able to manage your family and your job. You just don't have any place in your house. They also, mother, father, both of them throw him out of the house. And this person he shared with me that he was staying in a one studio apartment for the last 6 months, doing all the things on his own. He is not meeting anybody. It was a corona time also. He was not going and meeting anybody. He was not even speaking to anybody also. And he said, last 6 महीने में 5 महीने में आपको मैंने फोन किया है सिर्फ, और किसी में बात भी नहीं कर रहा. So he was into that shell. He was shocked, and he was in the shell of, he was not having any conversation with anybody in their life. And he shared me, sir, that he is thinking of committing suicide, right? and and then I started coaching them, mentoring him. 3 weeks I coach him, and Megha, you won't believe, 3 months down the line, this person got a job. He got a
Wow.
job. He worked, and in about 10 months down the 2022 January, he texts me that he started his own firm wherein he employ about 12 people. So
Wonderful.
the person who was actually on the verge of losing himself, committing suicide, actually, and started recreated on his own fully again, and now he's employing about 12 people, working on his own. I think that's something which inspired me, that it's not about making a difference in thousands, but even though if I'm able to make a difference in one life, and there I'm in multiple life which I can empower them. So that is something which was one of the turning point. You can say that from that moment I thought that, my conversations, my mentoring can actually make a difference. My sharing can actually make a difference to the people, right? It's not something which I should be worried about, that how I am, who I am, or will I be able to make an impact or not. But then I do make an impact. Your conversations do make an impact, and it's about everybody. It's not just about myself, it's about everybody and anybody. Your sharing is very, very important. Whatever you create, if you share with your people, and if you share, then people get value out of it. So from that moment, I thought that this is something which I really want to do. And that moment, that was another moment where I started actually thinking. And then I started getting deep, and studies. I enrolled myself for the other courses as well. So just to tell you, Megha, I've been in the landmark education for about 2 decades now.
Wow.
I'm a coach there. I'm a participant and a coach in various programs there. Currently, also in one of the leadership program we just completed, and my another year will be completed the next March. I'm going to begin my another 1 year of my training and development. So, and also in the couple of other entrepreneurship programs, or the leadership program or transformation, which I keep on participating ongoingly. So I invest myself a lot for my training and development, right? So which most of us don't do, right? I need to ensure that we invest. As a human being, we invest in our kids' education, because we know that education is very, very important for their higher education, for their junior education, or their nursery education, everything. We invest in the properties, in our homes, in our for our returns. We invest in equities, mutual funds, and various other income sources. But very less people invest in themselves. वो उसको ना खर्चा मानते हैं. They make terms at expense. I think that is one myth which we need
Probably
to.
शायद उनको वहां पे वो ROI समझ तो आता है, but वो दिखता नहीं है.
दिखता नहीं है. दिखता
When
नहीं.
it comes to
So
mutual fund and everything, they see
exactly.
that where is ROI.
Exactly, Mia. And see, and that was a challenge which I've been there in insurance about 2 decades, close to 2 decades, 18 years per se. I've worked in various insurance companies, and so I saw that selling insurance also, many people don't. Even India, insurance companies तो इतने सालों से हैं, और private insurance भी 20 साल से करीबन है यहाँ पर. अब तो ज्यादा हो गया, 24 सालों से है. So people don't buy insurance, वो खर्चा मानते हैं उसको. But that is not a kharcha. That is not your expenditure. That is your investment. Because today, if I invest in my insurance today, something, God forbid, something happens, and that money is going to take care of my family. That's an investment. Because let's say if I'm investing about 1 lakh rupees for my term plan for 10 crores, if God forbid something happens, my family is going to get 10 crores. I'm just giving an example. So similarly, for my training and development, one of the most important asset is me as a human being. Yeah. If I'm working somewhere, building my career, it's because of me that I'm generating that money. It's because of me that organization is generating that kind of a revenue, right? So what about my training and development? So normally people say, company ne training kara diya, that's fine. Otherwise, but company training kara rahi hai, very good. They want you as a professional to, but do you really want yourself as a person to grow in your life? That is something. So my advice to the people who are listening, to the professional who are listening, is start investing in your own self. It could be reading or attending some programs or seminars, or maybe anything else which adds to your value, right? Maybe something which you're passionate about, do that. It could be singing, it could be dancing, it could be tracking, it could be investing, could be any damn thing. But do that. Invest in yourself, because that is something which is going to really multiply. Just aapne bola, it's going to be really multiply. You will not be able to know that what is there which you and is going to give you a 100x or 1000x ongoingly. And obviously now, kyun bolte hain, knowledge is power, because the more knowledge you have, the more powerful you're going to become. The more interaction you'll be able, the more powerful interaction you'll be able to get, and the more understanding of the life you're going to have in your life. Now, Megha, one thing which is very critical and important is all of us human beings, we know that we're going to die someday, but we don't believe that it's possible. It's there.
So before
All
you
of us.
explain this very important point you have touched, and I just want to add one my question here so that you
Yeah.
explain it in a beautiful manner.
Yeah.
You have touched the ultimate truth of the life, that definitely if there is a birth, there is a death. And in between that birth and death, we humans are doing a lot of karmas. And since beginning, you have used the word spirituality 2, 3 times. So I was thinking that I was just trying to connect. When we are talking about birth and death, and definitely, if we have taken birth, so we are meant to get the required amount of success in this life. If I'm practicing spirituality, so how does the spirituality will also take me towards the success? Does it have any role in my success? Or the spirituality is for a different set of people, which nowadays today's youngsters are taking, that this is not for me. When I'll reach to my 50s and 60s, then probably I'll think about the spiritual context.
Yeah, very
Then,
good.
now just loop in this point as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's wonderful, and many people will not agree to it. Also, I mean, obviously, everybody has their own perceptions, and even I was at one point of time also having a similar kind of thing as well. But one thing is there. We talk about a holistic here. Holistic means what? If you see take the dictionary meaning, Megha, then it means actually it's a character by the belief that the parts of something are interconnected and can't be explained only by the reference to the whole. So, as an approach that considered whole person or whole system rather than just one specific part of it. Right. So, coming back to your question, is the spirituality part? As spirituality is what? It's what complete as a whole. And in your spirituality, every other aspect of it comes. Your relationship comes, your career comes, your job comes, you as a human being comes, your hobby, everything comes into that. So being spiritual is a great thing. Being spiritual means you know that why you are here for. First, who you are and why you're here for. So who you are as a human being, but as a human being, why you are here for? What is your purpose in life? And as we discussed all you is, since you have taken birth, then you're going to die. And you're there for a very limited point of time on this planet. But with that specific point of time, it could be 60 years, 80 years, 100 years, 150 years. Usse zyada nahi hoga na. I mean, we have not seen anybody who's been there ruling this, living this earth, 4 years. Nahi dekha koi bhi humne. Yes. So why that stress is coming? Where their stress is coming? So spirituality plays a critical role out there, that you know that who you actually are, why you are here for, and everything, whole thing in this world around you, including you, is whole, complete, and perfect. True. And being imperfect is okay. Nobody's perfect. Even this universe is not perfect. No country is perfect. No human being is perfect. Nothing is perfect, and everything is perfect. Yeah. So
just the perception probably which decides what is perfect and what is imperfect.
Exactly. So when you talk about the spirituality, it actually encompasses everything about it in that. So I mean, we believe. So maybe agar main bhagwan mein vishwas karta hu ya nahi karta hu, maybe I'm a atheist or a thief, then it doesn't make any sense. But then one thing which I'll believe is that kuch to hai, some power is there, na. Now, Megha, suppose morning, you get up in the morning, wake up from your bed, and you start walking towards your kitchen. Do you have a doubt that the step which Megha you have taken up now, that this step is going to be there in the air or it is going to be there on the ground? Because of the gravitational pull, it's there on the ground, right? So, and that is where the gravitational force is there. Or let's say, we are talking to each other, or we are breathing. Every second of our life, we are breathing. We are breathing and we are taking oxygen, right? This air which you are breathing in, how did this happen? Where is this? Right? For our living, we need water. Water is everywhere across the world. वो बात अलग है मेगा. Now, because of we human beings interactions and this हमारा own creativity और वो मतलब खुद को इतना बड़ा करने के चक्कर में we have actually spoiled everything. Be it a water, be it a
A lot
air,
of environmental imbalances that we
be it a
only
food.
have created.
Yeah, be it. But if you see, I mean, the supreme power has given everything for us in full abundance.
True.
Right? So being in a spirituality path doesn't mean that you stay away from your family, or you actually don't do your work, or don't make money, don't earn money. No, it's not about that. But being spirituality means, what I believe, what I practice is that I know myself. I know myself. I'm exploring myself more and more, and I'm actually living my life the way which I want to.
True.
One of the things, Megha, which the breakthrough which I've been able to get, post, really, I mean, creating my life, after following this for a long time now, is now today when I sleep, when I go for a deep sleep, मेरे को पता ही नहीं चलता, and in just 2 to 3 minutes I go to deep sleep when I lie on my bed, right? And I'm in a deep sleep of rest. I remember while I was walking, many times वो कभी नींद ही नहीं आती थी पूरी. I mean, I was actually struggling, So a complete deep sleep also means that you are actually being spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah. So your body needs rest. So why do you sleep? Because your body needs rest, your brain needs rest. But so again, coming to your question, is that youngsters, I mean, as a young corporate professionals, I mean, all the time we are running after money, but where is the rest for my body? Where is the rest for my brain? And if you see, if I follow Sadhguru also, I mean, if you see, Sadhguru says that as a human being, if you don't move your every part of your body at least for 20 minutes in those 24 hours time frame, then you've not lived that day.
Yes.
That's a minimum.
100%.
So and every part of my body, if you see our body, it's a very, very complex and powerful structure which is being created, right? So, and I need to be grateful for who I am, what I am being created by my parents, or by the God, or by the supreme power which is there. So am I really being thankful for that? Am I grateful for that every day? So, and how do I actually, whose responsibility, whose job is to keep my physical body fit? It's my job only. Nobody else. Now, suppose I want to go for a pee. Nobody's going to pee on my behalf. I want to pee on my. So similarly, if I really want to make my body in a perfect way, the way I want, I need to really start working on it.
True, sir.
And that on a daily basis. And I need to really work on every part of my body. See, every part of organ of my body is, if you see scientifically, it's structured so well. It works on its own.
Everything is on autopilot mode.
Autopilot mode. But what is my job? My job is to actually ensure that it's there at best till the time. And that's something which, Megha, I have decided, I've declared for myself that, and which I was sharing the other day also with you, is that till the time I'm alive, I'm going to be fit and fine. Wonderful. I'm not going to depend on anybody. And that's the reason why I don't, in the last 6 years, I've not taken any medicines. I don't intend to take any medicine whatsoever. Because something which your practices, which you've been able to create with your own self. So that is something which is possible. So being spiritual, and coming to all these fitness is very, very important an element of you living the way you want to live.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Yeah. Undoubtedly, sir, you have defined the spirituality in a beautiful context. And though I am also a big follower of this book, which is called the Bhagavad Gita, and I keep on reading. And
absolutely.
I have learned a lot, but whatever small messages I could understand, and one very important message which lies around the spirituality is, like, when the youngsters are telling that spirituality means you have to compromise with your success, you have to compromise with your financial things. So one very beautiful quote which I'm getting from that book is, if I talk about the Lord Krishna, he also told to Arjuna that you have to be spiritual, but yet at the same time, you have to fight this battle. Why you have to fight this battle? So that the power should come in the hands of the people who are competent enough, who are meant for these things. And he was also writing again and again in that book that you being spiritual and being success is just the synonymous word. You increase your standard of living, and so that you can increase your standard of giving as well. I believe that is the meaning of spirituality, which I am getting from that book again and again.
Yes, Megha, yes. Because see, if you are powerful, then only you can empower people. If you have money, you can actually contribute to the people financially, right? Or to the projects. If you are physically fit, you'll be able to take care of yourself and your family members much well.
Yes.
Right? खुद ही हालत खराब है, suffering from some illnesses and all. How will you be able to take care of your parents or somebody else in your family?
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, everything is, so you got to have that abundant life all the time. You being abundant being, and वो अपने आप नहीं होएगा. You got to create something, right?
True.
Obviously, I mean, if you're working, then you got to work and you got to produce that result, then you're being paid, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're not completing the project, if you're not working, your employer will throw you out of the organization. Simple. And especially if you talk about the private sector organization. So you, for your body, for your life, you also got to contribute in such way. So very beautiful.
Otherwise, the life will just kick you out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so I know. I mean, one of the gentlemen. I mean, FSC. I mean, we recently had a get together in of Aviva Life Insurance Company 20 years back with the team which I was heading. We met, and one of the gentlemen, he said, "Sir, he will not be able to come because his brother, who is about 40 years of age, his weight is 35 kg, and he's coming to Bombay for some 35. He's being one of the top professionals in the corporate world." Not working now because of his health issues, having various multiple health issues. His weight is reduced now, and he's going to take and picking up. Now, a 40-year-old guy, he's been very successful professionally. But I mean, if you see what he's actually done for his fitness, nothing, zero, negative actually. So, is that the state which you want to see for yourself? So, what do you want to see yourself as? That's something which, so and that too, he is only responsible, or I am only responsible for my health. If I don't have my food on time, if I don't take rest on time, if I don't have my exercise on time, right? If I don't drink sufficient water, if I don't the food which is beneficial for my body, if I eat more of a junk food, obviously everything has a cause and effect. Pros and cons up here. So I need to be sure that which category of life do I really want to be, and I need to be really ready to accept that result out of that, whichever choice I make.
True.
So you got to decide that what do you want, whether you want a great life, or you want a mediocre life, or you want a worst of the life. Choice is yours.
I just want to cripple on the way towards your life. That's your choice.
Absolutely.
Undoubtedly, sir, you have touched many points, and I am feeling that this discussion I cannot end this discussion definitely by my will, but certainly I need to come to the point where I need to end up this discussion. But undoubtedly, you have given so many advices for the youngsters, for everyone, not only youngsters, to the corporate professionals, and to the everyone who just keep on giving this statement so regularly that time nahi hai. I am compromising a lot with the time. But you have given again very beautiful advices that 1 minute bhi nahi hai apne liye. If you are not having that 1 minute for yourself in that 24 hours of cycle, then what the hell we are doing on this earth? Then probably we are not doing justice with ourselves. So start with a minute, then move on to the 2, then 5, then probably you will able to understand that what actually you are investing in yourself and how it will give back to you. Your book, certainly, it's a must read for everyone, because you have loop in various aspects of fitness to that book. And certainly, with your permission, I would like to give the link of this book to the description of this particular episode, so that many people get benefit. And one important thing which you have said, that mentoring and coaching. So if the people want to connect with you for that, again, I need your permission to give your contact details, so that they can get the benefit of your expertise as well.
Sure.
But the last thing which I want to ask for this episode, I cannot say the discussion end, but for this episode, nowadays, we are talking a lot about diseases, and n number of diseases, or maybe if I list out the 100 diseases, the topmost reason every doctor is quoting is you have a stress.
Yes.
And the moment doctor says you have a stress, the immediate reply of a patient, how can I live a stress-free life? That's a part and parcel of my job. I cannot live a stress-free life. So what you are telling, that if I want to away from the disease, I have to live a stress-free life. which is not
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Stress is a part of my life.
Yeah.
So what do you think that this statement is true, that we cannot live a stress-free life?
So
Or
Megha, you've answered yourself, Megha. So, coming from my experience, Megha, you can actually live a stress-free life. You can actually live a medicine-free life, right? Now, coming to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where you said chinta chitta saman hoti hai, right?
true, sir.
So, because see, I mean, the more you dwell into something, and that too with the stressful situations or a situation which is not going to move you forward, right? That is something which you're going to cripple more and more, right? And that's and similarly, it's true otherwise also. If you talk about the happy situation, I mean, if you see two friends meeting and being happy and discussing about some celebrations or meeting after some, I mean, the way I'm in, the entire energy changes differently. And the moment of somebody who's actually cribbing all the time, I mean, he talks about ye nahi hota hai, wo nahi hota hai, ya fir he. So and then it's nobody want to actually have a discussion or conversation with that person, right?
Yes.
So and very importantly, you've said is the time constraint. So time is limited for everybody of us,
That is
and
the only commodity, sir, which I
yes,
believe has been given to everyone in the same
everybody,
quantity.
yeah, and if you see, there are people, and let's say from the context of the time we talk about, then if you talk about time, 24 hours time, if you talk about your lifetime, 100 years, then तुम बोलोगे मेरे को टाइम ही नहीं है, तो कब टाइम होगा? Time, when there's going to be time? Now, if you see a example of Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, I mean, he works about 18, 19 hours every day, right? And he's the one of the role model of leadership.
Yeah.
So time, everybody has the same time. A president of America has a time, same time, 24. Everybody of us, a human being, have a 24 hours time. It's up to us that how much time you can actually create for yourself. So how do you actually, ensure that you make the best possible use of a time? Now, even in our dharmas, if you go back, if you talk about, then Brahma Muhurta is considered to be the best time to wake up. At that point of time, you can actually gather so many things about it. The practices which you do, the meditations, or all the things which you do, they actually going to, make you much more powerful. There's a scientific reason about it.
Yeah.
Right? The number of hours which you sleep. Now, I've seen people sleep for 10 hours. Actually speaking, if you're actually living a healthy lifestyle, if you're actually mentally fit, if you are actually physically fit, I sleep about 4.5, 5 hours, right? My guru, he sleeps for 1 hour, 58 minutes, right? In our dharmas also, in many, Upanishads also, if we talk about, then of a complete fit body and mind. If you see Rishi Munis, वो तो सोते ही थे, वो तपस्या में लगे थे, they were meditation for years, खाने पीने भी लगे. So that is true, because you can actually control your mind and your thing, that you can actually have a 2 hours sleep and still be fully alive. Doctors do say that 8 घंटे सोना चाहिए, that's fine for small children. मैंने अपने experience से बात कर रहा हूँ, is 4-5 hours sufficient sleep is sufficient sleep for us.
It's a sound sleep.
Yes, sound sleep. और जितना ज्यादा आप सोओगे तो उतना भी सोते रहोगे. And then you tend to, if you are in a stress situations, you tend to sleep more. You tend to be in that kind of a zone where you don't want to face the world. वहां पर ज्यादा नींद आती है. और what are the things, again, how can you ensure that you leave your bed early? There are certain practices which you can. अगर आप bed छोड़ोगे नहीं तो सोते रहोगे. Bed छोड़ दोगे तो छोड़ दोगे.
True, sir.
And then what structure you're going to create? So sleep less, sleep sufficient, but sleep less. Then also there are some practices in yoga wherein you can actually complete your your sleep, which you're deprived of. Let's say, I mean, many times I remember when I was traveling for about, let's say, a continuous traveling over weeks is there, and I've once become physically very tired. At that point of time, or even I'm working on some project, even now also, I know that मेरे को थकान हो रही, बहुत हो रही है. Then I practice Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is the practice which actually a 10-minute Yoga Nidra, 15-minute Yoga Nidra gives me a 2 hours, 3 hours of complete sleep.
And you feel super fresh.
Super fresh. जैसे वो there's a term which we call in corporate, power nap. Yeah. So power nap is nothing but that. But then, I mean, if you follow a process, a complete process of the Yoga Nidra or the power nap, it's actually beneficial.
Yes.
So that can, so So in order to live life, you got to wake up more. Right? अगर तुम सोते रहोगे तो क्या अपनी लाइफ जियोगे यार? What you will be able to create in life if you sleep more?
उसके बाद
So
आपके पास सिर्फ एक ही स्टेटमेंट होगा बार बार बोलने लिए कि टाइम नहीं है.
time nahi hai. So I mean, if you sleep 5 hours, you got 19 hours in your hand. 19 घंटे तुम्हारे पास है. You do whatever you want to do. And उसमें से minimum to begin with, one can see that minimum 20 minutes तो मतलब अपने physical activity के लिए, physical exercise के लिए देने चाहिए हमको.
True, sir. 100%.
Right. So my guru says that 2 hours every day one should give for himself only. Matlab, you want to make a difference out there in the world. You want to make a difference out there in your teams. You want to make a difference out there in your family or in your organization where you're working. How are you going to make a difference in yourself first? आप खुद सेल्फ सफिशिएंट नहीं होंगे तो कैसे दूसरों को एम्पावर कर पाएंगे? नहीं कर पाएंगे ना. सो स्वाध्याय इज फर्स्ट. You want to practice that. So start getting into the journey and discovery of your self-realization, right? And that's what some few of the practices which I've mentioned in my book also is that couple of things which falls in my ritual practice is that what do you create your intention of the day? When you wake up in the morning, what is your intention of the day? What do you actually intend to entire this day today? Then how do you visualize your day? Your entire day got to be visualized by you, right?
True, sir.
And then your affirmation, what do you actually say to yourself regularly? Because that is something which you got to actually tell to your mind, to your brain, that this is something which you, I mean, if you see, I don't know whether you heard the story or not. There's a in Africa, there's a tribe in a villages, there's a tribe. अगर उनको कोई पेड़ काटना होता है ना, they want to cut a tree.
They curse that tree.
They don't cut the tree. They actually
they start cursing that tree.
Yeah, they curse it. They all the villagers comes and they actually in a circle they start cursing that tree, and the tree he dies actually. So that's what your brain works. That's what the affirmation works. So they're very small things, but very, very things which are very, very impactful in your day.
True.
Right. So there are certain, and which you can see that what actually fits in. It's not necessarily that everything going to fit for yourself, but see that what actually is fits in your bill. What inspired you actually, right?
100%.
Just everybody has a different taste buds. Everybody have different taste of watching movies, right? Or a taste of playing any kind of a sports. So whatever fits in your bill, take that, grab that, but grab that. But पहले पता तो होना चाहिए उसके लिए. I mean, you got to know about what it is actually, na? So I think that is something which is very, very important, and spirituality plays a critical role out here. Your company plays a very, very critical. Your attitude plays of living a life plays a critical role out here. So everything works out here. Yeah.
So no doubt, I am having list of questions, and again, when I'm asking something, you are giving me a small nugget from which I can again ask a question. Yeah. But yes, I know that your time is limited. So with that note, I would just like to summarize our discussion today.
Yeah.
That again, you have given one more important point at the end. That yes, it is possible to live a stress-free life, and that statement itself is a very powerful statement when it is coming from a person who have already experienced that zone. Means if a person who is living a stressful life and giving that statement that it is possible to live a stress-free life, probably we will not be able to rely on that. But if somebody is saying that statement who is actually living a stress-free life, who is telling that for the last 6 years, not a single pill you have popped in, and you are maintaining just a 4.5 hours of sleep lifestyle and giving everything, not giving, in fact, investing everything which is required for you to give due respect to yourself first and then to the others. So definitely it's a very powerful message for all of us. I'll request from your side also, and from this channel and from this episode, that please, youngsters, do take care of yourself, do take utmost care of yourself, because you are your biggest asset.
Exactly.
Nobody is gonna help you in this world other than your body. This is the last thing which will leave you, even after your breath. Your breath will leave you first, then your body will leave you. So this is the thing which will stick with you till the end of your life. and few hours even after your life. So give respect to your body, take care of your body. And so from the deepest gratitude from my side to you, so that you have spared a time to interact with us, give a lot of insight, which is not only beneficial for me, because no doubt I was going again and again to so many circles of thoughts. So it was so much beneficial for me and to each and everyone who is going to watch this, who is going to listen this. So thank you so much, sir, and I really mean it for giving all this valuable information. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank
Thank
you
you, Megha.
so
Thank you so
much,
much.
sir.
All the very best. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.